A media student says he was disgusted after discovering the spy camera had a hard drive of graphic images of adults urinating at Chattanooga Billiards Club and video of children at local gas station toilets. It's been a tragic 24 hours here for this rural community in Lookout Valley. There are 4 victims involved and only 1 survives right now, and they're suffering from severe injuries. They managed to make it outside the RV behind me and notify neighbours and the authorities, and that happened just 24 hours ago. But I'm joined by Dory. Dory, you've been with Scott over the last few days and the last few hours. What's it been like?
It's been stressful, but I think Scott and Amy are both in a wonderful place.
Well, I've been lining out since about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Some say they travelled from across Alabama, Tennessee and North Georgia.
So James Mahon, the very first WDEF employee to ring in the new year, because he's in Galway, Ireland. That's 5 hours ahead of us. So that means it just struck midnight. So hey, Happy New Year's, James.
Hey, James.
Hello from the year 2015 here on the west coast of Ireland. I'm in a town called Gort, which is actually where I grew up. It'll be very similar to Ringgold. And just behind me, everyone has sang and drank and celebrated. They're still letting off balloons of some kind behind me. Thousands of folks who are making sure all the orders get out on time, and they've had a very busy last few days, and they're going to look forward to an even busier Christmas over the next few weeks with orders coming in from across America. Caitlin, thank you. I'm here right across the street from where the home invasion happened in the early hours of this morning. Police said that a black male forced his way into the home, 2708 North Chamberlain, assaulted a woman and then fired multiple shots at a man who was also staying inside the house. Thank you, John and Amy. As you can see behind me, the sign says condemned, do not enter. And residents here in Ridgedale have welcomed the condemning of 2412 East 13th Street. Authorities have told the woman who lives in this house to vacate it by tonight.
What we actually did was condemn it on the spot.
Captain Brian Cotter says code enforcement had no choice but to condemn 2412 East 13th Street.
Looked like the place was designed just for a party. There was no furniture in the living room. It was just completely dilapidated. Just didn't look like people were living there.
Renita Carter tells News 12 she lives in the rented house with 3 of her 7 children.
But rather than put the lady out on the street without any kind of warning so that she can make preparations, we told her she would have till this afternoon or this evening to try to get things together.
Sources tell us child services have also been contacted. Residents say the condemning is a double-edged sword.
Right now it's a positive that what was going on at that house is stopped. It's a negative for all of us that are property owners here because it stagnates the potential of selling homes.
Ball says parties were happening on a monthly basis at the house and parents were afraid to let their children go outside.
We've got to keep working to try to push these people that cause this trouble into another area. That's the only solution because we can't resolve it as a whole.
The 5 victims, including at least 3 males, ranged in age from their mid-teens to early 20s. 2 of the victims identified by investigators are Joshua Woodruff and Raheem Cobbins, aged 18 and 20 respectively. Already decided to leave the area because of the violence and the shootings over the last few days. Chattanooga Police Department cannot confirm as of yet whether or not there is a gang connection. The tears and screams of innocent babies whose mothers were substance abusers are becoming more common month by month and year by year across Tennessee.
Whether you're on prescription meds, whether you're on methadone to get off of the meds, or whether you're on illegal narcotics like heroin or something like that, the babies still have problems.
Erlanger neonatologist Dr. Gary Bell says neonatal abstinence syndrome due to drug-abusing mothers is becoming too common in East Tennessee.
Neurological symptoms where it'll be a lot of tremors, shaking, irritability, sleep problems. They have a lot of GI problems where they'll have inability to feed or they'll feed too much.
Recent statistics from the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse showed there are nearly 100 more neonatal abstinence syndrome cases leading up to October 2014 compared to this time last year. Here at Cadis, counsellors say substance abuse among pregnant women is a major concern in our community, and they even have a dedicated program to help those who are suffering.
They can come to us and we'll put them through treatment. We will take in their families. They can have children up to age 12, I think, and it's a 2-year program.
Fucher says his team help women of all ages from across the Tennessee Valley struggling with substance abuse, but before, during and after pregnancy. More than twice the national average of pregnant women in Tennessee say they take prescription pain meds as their primary substance of abuse. In Chattanooga, Tennessee, James Mahon, WDEF News 12. If you went down to the woods Thursday, you're in for a big surprise. Law enforcement pulled up truckloads of marijuana plants cultivated in a major marijuana den in this secluded area of Taylor Road in Grootley Lager.
We just kept digging and ended up stumbling onto a huge amount of marijuana.
Grundy County deputies believe they now have millions of dollars of marijuana plants to burn. More than 24 deputies and DEA agents have worked throughout the night, gathering more and more marijuana plants, and say there are so many here, they're concerned they might not have enough vehicles to transport it all in.
Generators to pump water out of wells, and then they've piped it out to different locations where they stored it in tanks, and then they had it set up from the tanks on valves where they could take it to the plants individually. And they've spent quite a lot of money on this.
Local residents who pick blackberries in the woods think there may also have been deer cameras located throughout the square-mile area of forest. Others are embarrassed and disgusted at the record-breaking seizure.
I mean, the Lord can get them through all this if they would just get off of it and not do stuff like this. This is bad on Grundy County. It's bad for the kids of Grundy County.
Local drug counsellors say this is a victory in the war against drugs and say marijuana is a common gateway drug in our region.
What happens is people start with marijuana and then a dealer says, you like this high, let me give you something else. And so they're going to these dealers who are wanting to push harder drugs because that's more money for them. So I think marijuana it's a dangerous thing.
Crews guarded the site overnight and DEA agents have swarmed the area, locating more and more plants. We've come all the way to Athens, Tennessee to see exactly what soapbox racing is all about and to meet the young riders who'll be taking part this weekend. The soapbox event, which is in its 20th year, is a preliminary for the World Championships, which is in its 77th year. One rider raced in Athens when it all began 20 years ago.
First year Athens ever had it, and we had to melt lead weights down to weight the car, had to build it, we used a cattle scale to weigh the cars here at the local race for the first year. It was an experience. It took a lot of time.
Now Josh is passing his passion for cars on to nephew Noah, racing for the first time and who is unsure of what excites him most.
I don't know.
Other young racers are looking forward to add to their medal collection.
Yeah, I want a little bitty, like some kind of plaque thing, and I actually got it at the police station in Athens.
Mom said they have full faith in the racers.
He hit the hay bales and he didn't get up for a little bit, so that's about the only thing that makes me nervous, but he'll do fine. We've done a lot of practice and Noah will be fine.
I decided to get some advice before I went near a car.
Straight and get really low.
Intern Anastasia Grace from Ringgold, Georgia says I don't stand a chance as I can't drive on the right side of the road.
Georgia's going to be Ireland.
But I showed her.
Here comes Speed Racer, he's a demon on wheels. He's a demon and he's gonna be chasing after someone. He's gaining on you, so you better.
So what if I use my hands to propel me forward just a little bit? Sponsors Athens Federal Community Bank said the annual event allows families to come together outside and encourages community spirit.
The employees' kids raced throughout the years and done very well. I think we made it to Akron one year. It's a great opportunity for our bank to support the community. Great opportunity to bring kids to Athens, and it's a wonderful event.
The events are open to kids from 7 to 18 and kick off this Saturday. I think I'll stick to grown-up cars from now on.
Bound and down, load it up and truck it. Are we gonna do what they say can't be done?
In Athens, Tennessee, James Mahon, WDEF News 12.